Hey everyone, I'm Rain, and this is Tarot for the Skeptical Mystic. And today I'm going to be going a little bit outside of sort of my normal comfort zone and into sort of like just a raw reading into something that isn't directly relevant to my life. Usually, like if this sort of mode, if I'm thinking about it, you're probably thinking about it, right? But there are a lot of things that I don't think about, like certain types of interactions, human interactions, relationships, and stuff like that. I'm married. I don't have to worry about, romantic love affairs and stuff like that. So what I am going to reach out and think about is a relationship that's not working. And try to connect some dots about why that relationship might not be working for you and what we can do, if anything, to resolve it, right? Sometimes resolution is dissolution, right? And sometimes it is fixing a problem, right? Identifying a problem and fixing it. So that's what we're going to be focusing on is a relationship that's not working and what we can do, if anything, to sort of repair it or how we move forward from it. So without any further ado, let's get our past card, and that is going to be our Talisman Oracle. This one's been popping up a lot lately. I feel like as a past card, this sort of makes sense. A lot of the cards that are in this deck are very sort of like, they're talismans, right? They're meant to protect you. They're meant to ward off stuff. And so they tend to be a little more, despite being like glossy black, tend to be a bit more sort of like on the sunny side. And that's how a lot of our relationships start, right? Is, we don't, I hate that person. I want to spend a ton of time with them, right? It's I really like this person. I want to spend a lot of time with them. So let's hopefully take a look here into our past. That was like just a hodgepodge. I was like, oh, a card. No, like it's just cards getting scuffed and fucked up as cards tend to do. So yeah, like we don't spend a lot of time. Well, there you go. Success. Our past card is going to be success. You have planted the seeds of success, and the stars are in your favor, gently guiding your way forward. Trust that through the storms and heavy rain, this seed will grow and prosper. Forget the feelings of doubt. You are about to achieve significant accomplishments, and it's been you alone who has done all this work. This is a well-deserved success, and when the victory comes, it cannot be taken away. Enjoy. Interesting. So this is talking about personal success, right? This is talking about you having accomplished something, succeeding in something that you endeavored to do. And, in the context of a relationship, this might have been like you were pursuing this person for a long time. I think about this girl that I dated for like a year and change, who I was into for a really long time and spent a lot of time sort of like trying to court and woo. It might have been like you were kind of chasing after this person and, you eventually like kind of succeeded. It also might be something else, right? You had success and it drew this person in, it caught their attention, and that's how this sort of relationship started. It could have been a success that you guys shared together, although the card kind of like points us in a different direction, right? Like this was your success. No one can take this away from you. So it might have been like a group project that you worked on where you succeeded, but that's not really like the vibe that I'm getting. It's like you succeeded in something that you set out to do, and that led you down the path of this relationship, whether it was getting that person's attention or whether getting that person's attention was the success, right? In the past, this started off as something that was motivated by this spirit of your accomplishment. And that's always a positive feeling, right? A lot of times when we succeed at something that we set out to do, it's a great motivator for us, right? It boosts our self-confidence. It makes us feel like, yeah, we're a human being with agency, right? And when we feel that way, it tends to be very attractive. People are attracted to confidence. People are attracted to success. And so it seems to me the vibe that I'm getting is you started off this relationship and caught their eye through something that you accomplished, something that you succeeded at, that you were working towards. And so that's the past. That's where we're starting, getting to today, right? Our next card is the present. So leading up to today, the foundation of the relationship was maybe this accomplishment, the success that you had. And so our present is going to be number 2, and that's our Rainbow Brain Skull. Rainbow Brain Skull. So this is looking at our present. Where is this relationship now, right? It started off on this foundation of succeeding at something, right? For whatever reason, however it sort of worked out that's what brought this person into your life. I'm trying to think, in terms of success, like what are some other ways, right, that people are sort of like pulled in by success, other than just being like, oh, look at that person go, like, oh, that's really kind of sexy. Like they gave that really big presentation and it was super interesting or whatever, right? Like, so let's take a look at our present. The point of sleep is to let it all go. The point of sleep is to let it all go. There's a reason we spend so many hours sleeping. Take a break from thinking about your problems and just float away. If you give your subconscious some time to do its thing, you'll be surprised at how far it'll take you. This one, honestly, to me is a little bit confusing in terms of the read, and maybe the further cards in the read will give us a little bit of a concept of sort of what we're looking at here. But it does sort of seem like here in the present, maybe you're ruminating. Maybe there is something about this relationship that you're dwelling on that's disturbing your sense of peace and your ability to sleep. Oftentimes, when we are resting is when our sort of creativity goes into high gear, which can be a really big problem if you're an overthinker, if you're very anxious, because creativity is a double-edged sword, right? We can get very, very creative in terms of our successes and things that we reach out to do, but we can also be very, very creative in terms of potential failures, right? Part of the anxious person's nightly sort of routine is running through all of the things that are stressing them out for the next day or whatever, and how those things might fail. If you're anything like me, that happens, and you can get very, very creative with it. Our imaginations tend to run wild. So what this is telling me is, in the moment, you have the success, right? You drew this person into your life, and then something is not working. Something is not. There's something that's on your mind, something that you're ruminating on, something that you're dwelling on that's literally keeping you awake at night. And this is sort of like how when tarot sort of like for me gets a little bit into the weeds, because I don't want to speculate, right? I don't want to speculate about what is going on with this relationship. I want the cards to tell me. And right now what it's telling me is how you came across this relationship and how the troubles with the relationship are kind of messing with your life, but it's not really getting into the root cause. And that might be you have to figure it out for yourself sort of thing, or it might be that we haven't seen the cards that we need to really kind of understand what's going on. But the point of sleep is to let it all go. And clearly here in this moment, we're not letting it go, right? We're holding on to something, we're dwelling on something, we're ruminating on something that is having an impact on our life. That tells me, at the very least, that this is a really important relationship. Obviously, if you're sitting here watching this video, duh, right? Like, you're not like, oh, this acquaintance at work, right? You're like, this is a relationship that really matters. But it's telling me that this is like a really big deal. This is really messing with your day-to-day life. And that's important. Our mental health relies in a lot of ways on us, hydrating and eating good food and taking care of our bodies. And that means getting good sleep. So if this is you, where you're dwelling on stuff, where you're losing hours of sleep, worrying about this relationship, this is the video for you. And we're going to look at our future card and how we might address this problem and maybe get a little more insight into where the root cause of it is. So this is our future card. This is telling us sort of like what comes next, or what potential outcome could come next. It feels like it could be, if we stay in this state, right? Like what that could look like. But often I have found our future cards tend to lead us in the direction of like, when we resolve this, what is our future going to look like? Or when we address this, what is our future going to look like? So, that's the way I prefer to see it, because, typically when you have a problem, the possibility of failure, right? The potential outcomes for failure. What we're thinking about is, what does it look like to succeed? And what does it take to succeed? So you have this relationship that you're dwelling on that's really causing you anxiety. So in the future, like, what are we going to do about it? What future do we want to be pointed in the direction of? And oh yeah, by the way, that's going to be our Art Nouveau tarot. Mr. Jinx is making an appearance here on the table. Hello, Jinxie Pie. Just kind of sniffing around. He likes to be around me. He just likes to be nearby and see what I'm doing, see what I'm getting myself up to. What are you getting yourself up to, JC boy? Hello? Okay, goodbye. And that is the 10 of coins. 10 of coins coming out. Very interesting. Very interesting. Hello, kitten. He's back. Oh, he's rubbing his face up against my microphone. You want to come here? Come on. Yeah, you come in? It's okay. You come in? Hello? What you doing? So, 10 of coins is leading us, this is the pinnacle of the coins, right? This is wealth and abundance and stability and security, with a particular emphasis on family is what the reading kind of for this card keeps coming back to is. And so this leads me to think that maybe this relationship that's not really working out is something to do with family, probably a partner, a spouse, something like that, where your sort of success and sort of the context that this gives me is that part of the reason that your relationship is struggling is something financial, right? What we're looking to get to is stability, is a place where we feel safe and comfortable and stable, and we have abundance. We have everything we need. This card does not really cover love, right? Like, this is not about love. This is not about any of the frou-frou sort of like emotional stuff that typically, right, when you're like, oh, relationship problems, there's this emotional element. What this tells me is that we're dealing with a financial situation, right? You're struggling with some sort of financial situation where it's like, my spouse is unemployed and can't find a new job and it's causing me stress, or, my spouse, won't move higher up in their field. They're not really suited for it, but they won't change career paths, or, unexpected bills are coming up, right? That you guys weren't prepared for. And now like those chickens are coming home to roost, and the future that you're looking for, right? The future that we want to get to is one where we're stable, where we have financial security, where we have all of our needs met. Everything is taken care of. And these are definitely the kinds of things that can keep you up at night. How are we going to pay these bills? How are we going to make this work? How are we going to connect these dots? And that can definitely cause friction in relationships. It can definitely cause tension where, it might not have existed otherwise. Once you get into like a serious relationship with someone, let alone like engaged and married and moved in together and all that sort of stuff, once you enter into that partnership, your finances get commingled, right? And you might have been living stably and safely and healthily before, but now, because of the addition of all of these new challenges that come with this relationship, you're stressing and you're struggling. And where you want to go, right? What you're trying to lead this relationship towards is this, right? And maybe it's built on the back of success. And this sort of leads me in the direction of like, you were successful, you were doing well, you were financially secure, you were financially stable, and then there was this disruption, right? This disruption, there's friction, there's tension, there's stuff going on, and you just want to get back to that place of success. You just want to get back to that place where you have stability. And, relationships have these ebbs and flows, these peaks and valleys, these challenges that come up, and sometimes they can get really overwhelming, and they do disrupt our daily lives. They do disrupt our mental health and our emotional well-being, and that most often comes out on our partner. Well, if you just did this, well, it wasn't like this before, but it's like this now, and the common denominator is you. Like, what the fuck, right? There's a lot of ways that we can sort of project our mental and emotional struggles with these kinds of challenges on to other people, because we want to blame other people. And it might be the case. It might be you're like, yeah, I was doing really well, and I met this person and we really hit it off, and now they're kind of like leeching off of me, or they're not pulling their weight, or they're causing struggles in some way, right? And it could just be like circumstantial, right? Someone got sick, something, there was an accident or something like that, but it's still going to cause that stress. It's still going to cause that tension and friction in that relationship. So the crux is going to tell us, I think, how we get to here. This has all so far been painting kind of a clear picture of me to say, like, this is not a question of love. This is not a question of commitment or desire to be with this person, to be engaged in a relationship with this person. It's stress about something outside of the relationship, external to the relationship. And that is going to be our Kitty Cat Tarot deck for the final card. So we'll have to see what the cats have to say. Fitting, Mr. Jinx is sort of like repeatedly making an appearance here on the desk. That's too many cards. That's like 7 cards. Are you turned around? No. Okay. Oh my God, I'm so sloppy today. I'm so sloppy. Yeah, and this is. I said I was going to step outside my comfort zone, and the card was like, "Well, here you go," right? Like, not the sort of typical readings that I'm used to doing. It's really interesting to me to see sort of, I decide to go kind of off the beaten path, and a bunch of cards I've never seen before start coming up, and situations that I didn't expect start coming up. But that's life, isn't it? And that's sort of the crux of this problem. Situations come up. Things that you don't expect to happen. Life is a series of events, right? That are sort of like happening at us. This card went, ooh, interesting. And that's going to be the 1 of coins. It's going to be the Ace of Pentacles, or of the coiny guys. Very, very curious. So this is about new beginnings, right? And that, in the context of sort of like what we've been looking at here, is very, very curious, because that could mean a lot of different things. And boy, oh boy, like, I feel like I kind of have to trust my gut on this one, right? Like, my instinct is, first instinct is to tread lightly, right? Is to go, man, this could be a lot of different things. But for me, again, coming back to the idea that this isn't about like love or commitment to your partner or the person that you're engaged in this relationship with, it's about money. It's about financial stability. It's about financial safety. And what this is telling me is it's time to start over, right? You need to relook, from the ground up at everything that you're doing with your money. What does it actually look like with your partner, right? What do your finances actually look like? Where are some places where you could, tighten up your budget a little bit? I know my wife and I spend entirely too much on like eating out, fast food at lunch and stuff like that. And so this might be a revisiting of those finances. More, I think, is looking at your entire sort of like approach to money. Your entire approach to career, and I think to a certain extent your entire approach to what money means to you in your life. This Ace of Coins is all about new starts, new opportunities, new beginnings, and action, right? You are starting a new journey. You are taking a first step in a new direction. And so it's not just like handed to you, it's a path that you go on, right? The path from the 10 to the 1 and vice versa is a path you walk. And so it really says to me, like, you need to start walking a different path than the one you've walked before. The way to get from the Ace to the 10 is barred. The way that you've been going before, it's not working. It's not going to get you there. And so now you need to take a different approach. What that looks like for you might be looking for a new job that is going to provide you with a little more consistency or stability, right? Maybe it's time to push for that raise or that new promotion, that new position. Maybe it's time to rethink entirely what career path you're on. My wife, kind of decided that she wanted to go to law school because she wanted to get to the 10 of Pentacles, right? She wanted that stability. She wanted that safety, and was like, I'm really good at law stuff, so maybe I should just go to law school. Lawyers tend to make pretty decent money, right? Like, it wasn't inherently a passion for law, right? It was a passion for stability. It was a desire to not have these ruminating thoughts, right? To not have to worry about how are we going to pay for this or that. It was entirely motivated to get to here, right? And so it started with, I'm going to take this step. I'm going to take this step and explore this idea of becoming a lawyer. And this is the kind of transformation I'm seeing for you, is really looking at the circumstances and the situations of your finances, of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and maybe even do a complete 180. If you've been slaving away, at a terrible job that you fucking hate, that is not making the ends meet on top of it, it's time to start looking in a different direction. If you've been pursuing your passions and trying to make, the most of an artistic expression, right? Something creative, some sort of like content or whatever, and it's just not working out, maybe it's time to rethink that too, right? It's not just like follow your dreams. Sometimes your dreams are going to lead you down paths that are not financially stable, and you have to have a day job until if and when those things work out, right? Like I'm sitting here recording a YouTube video that 20 people might watch, right? Like I'm not quitting my day job to do this. It has to be something that's intentional. It has to be something that's measured. But it's definitely something that you have to be intentional about. So this Crux card is saying you can get to that 10, but you're going to have to start over somewhere. And that's a conversation that you need to have with this person where there's that friction in the relationship, and you need to talk to them about it and say, look, this shit is keeping me up at night. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep living this way. I can't keep going down a path that doesn't lead me to stability and security, and hear what they have to say, because they might be going through the same fucking thing. And just trying to keep, a stiff upper lip and keep going at it. But that's hard to do, and it has such a toll on your emotional state, on your mental state, and again, causes all of this tension in the relationship. You maybe have built off past successes, and those successes aren't forthcoming anymore. You thought that they were just going to lead you in the direction that they seem to be going, and this reading is saying no. You've hit your wall. You've gone as far as you're going to go, maybe, and it's time to start over. It's time to take a fresh approach. It's time to go in a different direction. So that's my reading. You might have seen something different. I hope this was of some value to you. I'm Rain. This is Tarot for the Skeptical Mystic, and we will see you again next time.